Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now September is prostate exam month, and to be prostate aware, as the local health experts are reminding people of what you need to look out for. ECU Health Dr. Mohammed Khalil says prostate cancer is more common in men 45 and older and those who have a family history of cancer, and of course men of African American descent. Now, the American Association for Cancer Research reports that prostate cancer is the most common cancer other than non-melanoma skin cancer. In addition, it's the second leading cause of cancer deaths in men other than lung cancer. Now, prostate is a gland located in the male reproductive system, situated just below the bladder and in front of the rectum. Health experts say it's about the size of a walnut and surrounds part of the urethra, or the tube that empties urine from the bladder. Now, according to the National Cancer Institute, almost all prostate cancers begin in cells that make the release mucus and other fluid. Due to prostate cancer often having no early symptoms, Dr. Kahililia says it's vital to prioritize regular screenings. He said, quote, "Most cases are silent. There are no signs or symptoms. They're just an accidental discovery by a screening test, but sometimes having difficulty in voiding or some bleeding with urine. These could be some signs of prostate cancer. Screening starts at the age of 45 if you have a family history. If you're African American, screenings will need to start at the age of 40. If the test is negative, the test needs to be repeated yearly. If positive, there will need to be more to come," end quote. Now, in addition, the NCI says that advanced prostate cancer can cause men to urinate more often or have a weaker flow of urine. These symptoms can also result from the benign prostate conditions. For more information on prostate cancer, you can visit the National Cancer Institute's website by following a link on our website, WITN.com. And now we want to turn to Alice Barr, who is in London right now, reporting on the state visit by President Trump.
Hi there. From outside Buckingham Palace, President Trump is already back in Washington after a packed 2 days here in the UK. And he rolled right into making headlines on the flight home, suggesting on board Air Force One that broadcast networks that he says are against him and give him only bad publicity could lose their licenses, though he said that would be up to Brendan Carr, that's the FCC chairman, who criticized ABC late night host Jimmy Kimmel and hinted at potential action right before the network indefinitely pulled the show off air amid the controversy over Kimmel's now debunked comments about Charlie Kirk's murderer being part of the MAGA movement, also accusing Republicans of trying to score political points off of the assassination. The issue stirring free speech questions at a press conference alongside UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, where the leaders were also pressed on the wars in Gaza and Ukraine and talked trade and a new tech partnership. And today, President Trump turns to China in a call this morning with President Xi Jinping, focused also on trade and on that deal to keep TikTok available to millions of American users. In London, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, thank you very much, Alice, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast, and everything right now is really looking sunny across the east, something we haven't been able to say so far this week. Let's enjoy it. Take it all in. It feels very nice out there. Of course, the heat is going to be building as we make our way through the afternoon hours. Here we are, 12:04 on the clock, and right now Goldsboro enjoying plentiful sunshine and air temperatures already in the low 80s. We've got 82 degrees in Greenville. Comes with a calm breeze, but dew points have actually come down over the past 2 hours. At 10 a.m., dew points were reading at about 70 degrees, now down to 63 degrees, and that is encouraging. The lower those dew points get, the more comfortable the air will be through not only today, but through the upcoming weekend. Right now, air temperatures generally in the low to mid 80s throughout most of eastern North Carolina. However, once you get closer to the water, you're seeing some still in the mid 70s to upper 70s. We've got 76 degrees right now in Hatteras as well as Manio, 77 in Plymouth, 80 degrees in Beaufort, Swan Quarter, as well as Elizabeth City. Now, winds. Again, we knew winds today were going to be very light, and that's exactly what they are right now. Looking around a 3 to 6 mile per hour breeze across just about all of eastern North Carolina. Jacksonville right now is a little bit outside of that range with a 7 mile per hour breeze, but winds right now not really kicking up too much in terms of either cloud cover, rain showers, just there's not enough there. High pressure system is really the reason for that. That high is going to continue to inch its way further and further northward, but for us, the area of low pressure off of our coast will continue to push its way further into I would say the central to northeastern portion of the Atlantic, and that is going to do us some favors as it drags some rain showers and some humidity back away from the area. Then we've got another area of low pressure that will approach the east coming up on Monday and Tuesday. The good news is the mountains are likely going to be chewing up most of that system. Very weak rain showers right now off on the western side of the mountains. Once they hit the mountains and try and move east, that's when they lose out on a lot of that moisture. Now, what hasn't lost out on moisture is Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Right now, 50-mile-an-hour maximum sustained winds moving northwest at 12 miles an hour. This is a system we'll continue to keep an eye on, but the good news is it is not going to be directly impacting eastern North Carolina. Could we see some increased surf along our beaches? Yeah, expect that to happen possibly as early as Sunday, but certainly by Monday, if we're to see any sort of rise, we'll be feeling it really Sunday evening to Monday, and then everything should start to diminish on Tuesday. But what we're talking about there is just an increase of wave heights, maybe an additional 1 to 2 feet on top of what is normally about a 2 to 4 foot surf, depending on your beach. So that's really it as far as Gabrielle goes for us here in eastern North Carolina. Again, with that higher surf could come a higher threat of rip currents, but that again is really a threat on more so late Sunday, more so Monday and Tuesday. Everything should be back to normal by the time we get to Wednesday on the coast. By that point, we'll be looking at air temperatures in the upper 80s, 87 on Tuesday, 88 on Wednesday, and then we cool down as the cold front rolls in. That will bring about a better opportunity for not just rain showers, but an opportunity for some thunderstorms to roll across the area. Should be something we haven't seen in a little while. Of course, we've had some rumbles of thunder, but not that affect all of the east. And coming up next Thursday, we may be talking about a system that does just that. Well, that's all we have time for today's Noon News and Weather Update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Friday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Supreme Choice.